Do you know anyone that has an owner's manual for their life? Because I'm still looking for someone that may have something like that out there and I can't find them. And because I didn't have an owner's manual, what I did is I went out and I found a few things that is helping my life today. And I want to share them with you. So stick around on this short presentation because I'm going to have an amazing gift for you right at the end. And I know that you're really going to like it. So what I did before I found those good things is that I listened to my parents, to my family, to some classmates, friends, teachers. And what I was told is life is easy. It's easy to be successful. So first, you have to go to school and get super good grades. So my mom told me to go and be a doctor or an engineer and that my life would be great if I went for those professions. So the better the grades, the better the job, and your life is set, right? If you're like me, that's where I already messed up. If you went to the same school that I went to, you're working hard, you're financially done, you're happy, and everything in your life is okay. Now, if that is not okay, and you're dissatisfied with the way that your life is right now, let me share a few things with you that happened to me. Growing up, I often heard that money doesn't grow on trees. Well, if it doesn't grow on trees, well, where does it grow at then? And did those people tell you where the money grew? Can you think of some other things that were told to you being young that were 100% not true? From a young age, I always had the eye for the shiny and finer things. I remember walking down the street one day with my dad and I asked, "Why don't we get a car like this, Dad?" And he said, "Nah, we don't need something like that. It's too extravagant." It was also that day that I decided that when I grow up, I'm going to have those finer things. So fast forward to my teen days, I went out and got myself a job and I did what regular employees do. And that was just doing as I was told. Do you remember your very first job? I remember mine, and all I can say is that it was hard work for very little money in return. Does that sound familiar? It literally feels like you're told what to do. And what they told you is you would have to go and get yourself married, you would get yourself a house, some children, and then you would put a dog or a cat in the mix. And then what you would do is you would get out there and you would work. I don't know about you, but anytime I worked, there was always more month at the end of the money instead of the other way around. And I struggled to have some savings for the rainy days, and if I did, boom. It was amazing how the money would disappear so quickly because, the check engine would either come on and on the dashboard of the car or I'd end up spending money on something I didn't really need. And we all know what happens if you have multiple credit cards. Ever been at the wrong place at the wrong time? I remember working at a call center as a customer service representative. And it was a company that was under contract for a bigger company, and all of a sudden, they were out of their contract for whatever reason, and literally almost overnight, I was out of a job, and there you go, I was fired. What would you do? Think about that for a second. If someone told you today that the one source of income that you have is completely cut out, what would you do? I can remember going broke trying to get a full-time income online because I didn't want to rely on only one stream of income for myself. So did you ever hear about the saying that says, don't put all your eggs in one basket? So I kept my mind open to learning. And, I stand by that saying by Albert Einstein that says, once you stop learning, you start dying. The mind is like a parachute. And it doesn't work unless it's open. And it's because I had an open mind and a never give up attitude that one day I had a conversation with a friend online that told me that he met this guy that showed how he made $24,000 in 5 days and that he was teaching a proven method to others on how to do the same. You didn't need any experience, but you had to put your ego to the side and be coachable. So when my friend asked me if that was of interest to me, all I said is, show me the money. So that guy that he introduced me to became one of my current online millionaire mentors. And it's his exact strategy that I implement online today that allowed me and many others to become full-time marketers. So one of the reasons why I really felt connected with his knowledge and teaching is because he recommended to read The Science of Getting Rich. And, that book was already one of my top 3 books among Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and Think and Grow Rich. So The Science of Getting Rich was published in 1910, and people like Andrew Carnegie read it too. And if you look him up on Google, you will see that in today's day, he would have been worth $310 billion. That's 3 times more than Bill Gates' wealth altogether. Not sure why the principles in that book wouldn't be taught in school, but it not only helped Andrew Carnegie become one of the wealthiest people on the planet, but he was so blown away that he hired a guy named Napoleon Hill, the author of Think and Grow Rich, to go and interview 500 of the most successful people back in their time to see what they all had in common. Think and Grow Rich was published in 1937 and been one of the best-selling books of all time. Now, those books helped me change and improve my mindset, and I want to share the concepts in them that can help anyone to be happier, more fulfilled, and to go for a better lifestyle of freedom and abundance for years to come. So stick around because I want you to listen to this. So concept number 1, other people's ideas. You don't have to be intelligent to be successful and wealthy. Mercedes-Benz was the first creator of the automobile. And what Henry Ford did is that he took the idea, came back to America, and he built as much vehicles that he could. And there's a saying by him that I really like also, is whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Google wasn't the first search engine that was out there on the internet. Netscape was. Although Facebook is the biggest social media platform there is today with over 2 billion active monthly users on it, MySpace was the first. And Mark Zuckerberg took that idea and made it better. So you can take an idea, learn to market it the right way, and create a major impact in the world. I was always told that I had to be educated and I had to have all these degrees to make it in life, and that was not all true. Now, the second concept that I want to share with you is other people's efforts. And John D. Rockefeller said it well. I would rather earn 1% off of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own efforts. So if you show and help other people to make money, it now puts you in a great position to also increase your income. So if you look at big companies, they have a lot of employees, and this is why they get in profit fast. And in return, they pay for those efforts with the profits that they generate. I used to trade a lot of my time for the money that I was making. And I also used to have no time to do anything. So I would work, get paid on a Thursday or Friday, and then do it again. The typical rat race, so to speak. And if you look at another Albert Einstein saying is insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So I guess that would be the definition of what I was doing. Now, another concept that I want to share with you is other people's money. Where does money come from? It simply comes from people. What you need to do is to find a need and fill it. And let me repeat, What you need to do is to find a need and fill it. And if the value that you offer dwarfs or is more than their money value, people will give you their money in exchange. It could be for knowledge, wisdom, self-help, an owner's manual. Some people want to learn how to drive or even ride a motorcycle these days, and this is what people would need. So if you have something that people want, they will exchange their money and even put it on a credit card to get the information that you have. How about learning something that other people want? Example, speaking another language. So people would pay you money to teach them how to speak that other language. Most people would think that being successful is hard. And it's not always complicated to make money if you can find a need and fill it. J. Paul Getty said, the more value you have to offer, the more monetary units you'll be able to receive. So it's only going to be in your advantage to add more value in people's lives, meaning it's going to be better if you become a person of value so that you get rewarded for that. Today, employers make part of 3% of the population. Now, if you look at the employees, they make part of the rest, which is 97% of the population. Don't you always notice that the 3% is always on top and the rest is always at the bottom? When you want to learn what the 3% do so you can be in that category yourself too? So in the top 3 books I referred to you earlier, it talks about coming up with something of value that doesn't necessarily need to be your idea. Then you have to learn how to market it properly. So if you show other people to make money that then show other people to make money too, this is just your imagination. You gotta understand that you can be that person. Anyone that understands the principles in these books are financially free, and they're not employees, but entrepreneurs. Let's take you back to the basics with Marketing 101. There's a few things that I didn't know before that I want to share with you so that you can understand them too, right? So stick with me. I'm almost done with this presentation here, so just stick around. So a product gets manufactured and then it gets passed on to a national distributor that then goes to a regional distributor and then a local distributor before landing in a retailer's store or shop to get displayed so that a customer can get a hold of it. Okay. So now the national, the regional, and the local distributor, including the retailer, are all called middlemen. Have you ever heard of the middleman before? And did you know that 60% of the price of a product is marked up for middleman profit? Now, somebody looked at that marketing model and wanted to make it better, right? So talk about somebody that grabs an idea and makes it better, right? So not only that person wanted to get a bigger percentage of that middleman profit, but that person also wanted to offer better prices for the customer. And that's exactly what Sam Walton did, right? The creator of Walmart. So he went to the national distributor and said, I want to buy all these items in bulk. They didn't accept at the beginning, but when he said, you know what? I want to buy 1 million of these items, they've accepted. So the national distributor and Walmart became the middleman, and Walmart was able to take a bigger chunk of the middleman profit right there. Now, have you ever seen signs that said open to the public in front of big or large warehouses? That means that you probably heard of Costco Wholesale. Costco Wholesale is, warehouse from all over the world that charges a $45 yearly membership fee for people to go and shop inside of a warehouse that has pallets and products all piled up in it. It amazes me how people don't really care about all that. But what they did, and this is where disruption started, and I'm gonna explain what disruptions means in just a little bit. But they eliminated the national distributor in that model. So talk about somebody else that took an idea and made it better, and now they took a even bigger chunk of the middleman profit right there for the products that they had inside of their warehouses. And it doesn't stop there because other people took an idea and make it even better. I'm pretty sure that you heard about Amazon before, right? So Amazon right there, the way that they made it even better is that they hold no inventory. So they don't even have a store where you can go to and buy physically, but it's all online. And, you can go on Amazon and buy something. And what they did is that they directly deal with manufacturers that have products. They advertise and they put it out online for the customer to get access to it. And because they hold no inventory and they have no, warehouses or store where they display a product, they do that online, and therefore they're grabbing an even bigger chunk of that middleman profit, right? If you know about Jeff Bezos, this is the CEO and creator of Amazon. He's been known to be one of the top 5 of the wealthiest people on the planet, and he has been known to make $300 million per minute. Just imagine that for a second, making $300 million per minute, coming into your pocket, right? So if you take that marketing model, do you know that you can do the same thing as Amazon? Wouldn't you want to be able to do the same thing so that instead of a middleman that puts money in their pockets, you put money in your pockets, meaning you become the middleman? I think you and I can agree on that. And the question I have for you now is, do you want to know how to do that? Because what my mentors told me is that I had to be looking for trends. And the illustrations that they gave me about that is the train that is going 80 miles per hour west. And trust me, if you get in front of that train, you will be going 80 miles per hour west. So you don't need to be intelligent when you're looking for trends. You don't even need to be good looking for that, or even have to have crazy work ethic. And some of you may disagree with what I'm about to say, but trends beats talent, it beats skill, and it also beats experience. Now look at a company like Blockbuster that was really popular and hot back in their days. What they didn't do is look for trends, and when Netflix came on, bam, they got knocked out. They got caught sleeping because of the trend that was going on, and they went out of business. And that is called disruption and decentralization. And I want you to stick with me here because I want to show you something that is really interesting that is happening right now. You have Uber, that is the world's largest taxi company. But you know what's funny? They own no vehicles. Okay, so decentralization does, two things. So not only the company offers, lower rates to customers compared to their competition, which help grow the company, right? So more customers come at a lower rate, the company is growing. But then on the other end, it allows people that owns a vehicle to offer services for that company, and they make money. Did you hear that? Uber makes billions of dollars to be the world's largest taxi company right now, and they own no vehicles whatsoever. Look at Facebook. And once again, Facebook is one of the largest social media platforms that there is on the internet. It's one of the most popular media owners that creates no content. When you're on Facebook, does Facebook, make content for you? Although you can find some content ideas on there? No, we have to get on there and we create the content. Look at Alibaba, the world's most valuable retailer that has no inventory. Does that sound familiar to you? Again, it's an idea that was made better, but in Asia this time, because if you look at that model, it's the same as Amazon, just at another place, right? Now look at Airbnb, which is the world's largest real estate provider that owns no real estate. Decentralization again. So you have people looking for cheaper rates for real estate, people that are looking for places to rent, even short-term rentals. And then you have people that want to make money with their properties. So both sides now are fulfilled because people are making money with their properties, and you have the customer that gets a lower rate, which helps grow the company. Isn't that interesting? You see what's happening here? Disruption and decentralization. And this is really important, and that's why I wanted to share it with you right now. Now, let's talk a little bit about income, and I want to share the concept of compound interest with you. And again, I'm going to bring up Albert Einstein because he's a genius, right? So he said, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. So if you are paying interest on anything right now, you don't understand this concept at all. So you do want your money to work for you, and it takes a little while to get there. But if you don't know about it, you can't get there. Now, there's a quick question I'm going to ask you right now, and I already know what your answer is going to be because I answered the same thing. And it's, would you rather have $1 million today or a penny that doubled every day for the next 30 days? You know, I made the same mistake. And if you picked $1 million today, I'm going to show you how it's completely wrong. And again, if you don't know what's going on, then you can't get there. And look at this table over here. So the way that it works, and you know, my mentors even said that their mentors had a story around it where they said you would have to drive 20 minutes for that penny and come back and make it double for the next 30 days and stuff like that. But looks what's going on here. So the first day you start with a penny, and then on day 2, you double whatever you had on the previous day. So you start with a penny, day 2, you have 2 pennies, and day 3, you take the 2 pennies and you double it, and then you have 4. Day 4, you double the 4 pennies, and then you have 8. And you keep going like that for 30 days. Nothing really happens until day 17. And if you look at day 17 over here, you see that it's starting to be good. You know, in one day, you're making $655.36. It gets pretty cool. And now you keep going. Day 18, you're at over $1,000 right there. You know, it gets better and better. And look at day 24. Over $80,000 in just the one day. And then day 25, you jump to $167,000 in the one day. And if you keep going, look what happens on day 28. $1.3 million that day. And then on day 30, you're at $5.4 million for that penny that started on day 1. So $1 million today, or you want to do $4.4 million more by waiting 30 days. Can you agree with me that you can start small and win big later on if you're a little bit patient? I think your answer can be yes. Now, I want to share the concept of GPT with you, and no, it's not a company name. Would you rather get paid in a month for the efforts that you do today? Would you rather get paid in a week for the efforts that you do today, or get paid today for the efforts that you do today? You know, if you ask me, I'd rather have cash flow, and I'd rather get paid today for the efforts that I do today. And this is why I wanted to share GPT with you, which stands for Get Paid Today. Repeat after me. I can do this. And let me tell you why I know that you can do this. I know you can get paid today. Well, first of all, it's because I did it. I was able to apply this concept in my business, and that's how I've had my first $3,000 day online, and I'm forever thankful for that. And you can do it too. I had to learn, and let me share something that a lot of people are experiencing today. And if you never heard about that, let me share it with you right now. The rumor effect. Have you ever played that game when you were a kid where, you know, someone starts at the beginning of the line and they whisper something in somebody's ear, and then what they have to do is that they have to do their best to whisper it to the next person's ear. And by the time that message gets at the end of the line, well, it doesn't necessarily sound like what the message was in the beginning, right? Ever played that game? If not, then it's okay. I know we're grown-ups now, and let's talk about real life situations. They say that most people, they would retain 10% of what they're taught. Somebody show you something, you retain about 10%. But let's say that, it's somebody that is a genius and they retain about 50% of what somebody's going to teach them, right? So you start at 100%, that person teaches that other person, and now the person retains 50% of that knowledge and wisdom, and then they move on to teach it to somebody else that is the same as them, and then you get down to 25%, and then it keeps going down and down and down, and when you're at 6%, now it gets shared to you. So you listen to someone that listen to rumors, and you didn't get 100% of what the knowledge and wisdom was, right? So what you do now is you stop listening to broke people. It amazed me how so many people do that. And I used to do that too. So you stop listening to broke people. You stop listening to people that didn't make money. You stop listening to people that haven't helped other people to make money. And you start listening to people that are smarter than you, that have been documented to have helped other people to make money. And now you're making money and you're helping other people to make some money. Wouldn't it make sense that if you had children or grandchildren and you had the money and the time to go and show them something like karate or singing, and then you would put them in front of the best person that there is about that so that they can learn? And that best person would be called a coach, right? Somebody to be there right by your side to show you step by step of the way of the things you need to do in order to achieve greatness in whatever it is that you're learning, right? So if you take a look at Michael Jordan, one of the best basketball players of all time, did he have a coach? Yes. Even though he was the greatest, he had someone by his side to always make sure that he was going in the right direction. So if you ever been in a situation where you've been stuck and you had nobody by your side to show you the way, let me show you how we can fix this. System. Save yourself some time, energy, and money. Ever heard about the system effect? So if you compare this to the rumor effect, you would see that it's completely different because you see all these 100% there in this graphic. And at the end, the person with the sunglasses on and the smile would be you. And believe it or not, you can apply that to anything that you're doing online. Anything. So here's what you do. So you would find someone that's smarter than you that put a system in place. Okay? A system that you plug yourself into, and then you can plug other people into it also. And guess what happened after that? You start making money, right? So everybody can follow a proven system from somebody that has been documented to have helped others get results also. And then it puts you in a position to not only get results for yourself, but to help others with that same system. And you know what starts happening after that? You start finding the right people for your business, people that are eager to succeed just like you and that want to get connected to the source. And in between all that, you're getting paid. Wouldn't that be an amazing feeling? You're learning from the best source that can be. You're finding the right people to do business with you, and you're getting paid, right? So, when I said to the source, when I talk about source here, I talk about finding a mentor that has a system, a proven system in place that they've been using for a long period of time that has been getting them results, right? So when we talk about mentor, I always talk about the 10X rule. You may have heard that before. If not, it goes as so. If, for example, you want to make $10,000 per month online, you're going to have to find someone that makes $10,000 per month times 10. So that's $100,000 per month online, of course. And it's somebody that has to have at least 10 years of experience in what you want to achieve. And this is how you get closer to what your goals are and what you want to achieve with a mentor, right? And that's exactly what I did. So if you're someone that is ready to put in the work and to work on themselves in order to get closer to success, but they never had a coach by their side to show them step by step of the way for the things that they need to get done in order to get closer to success, you're in the right place now, my friend. You know, we as human beings, we like to overcomplicate things, but things can really be simple. When opportunity knocks at your door, all you have to do is go to the door and open it. Now, one of the last things I want to share with you is that I value your time and I really appreciate you. And with that said, I have a gift for you right now, as I promised in the beginning of the presentation. And it's a breakthrough strategy session so that we can find out in your uniqueness what your challenges are so that we can help you solve them. And I hope that you're understanding this because everyone is different and gifted, just like your fingerprints and your DNA. So you have gone through a different situation than somebody else, and this is why you need to get on a breakthrough strategy session. So go ahead, you're going to see a button appear on the right section of this page. Just click on it, schedule your time, fill in the application, fill in the questionnaire there. And once you did that, you're going to get more gifts. I'm going to share with you the top 3 books that really helped me, my mindset, and my life get better. And I want to share them with you too. And I'm talking about, The Science of Getting Rich, Think and Grow Rich, and Rich Dad, Poor Dad. All right. So once again, apply today. Schedule your breakthrough strategy session through the link or the button that is on the right of this page. And don't forget, if I can do it and others can do it, you can do it too. So thanks for watching. God bless and talk to you soon.